Hello, my name is Brittany Brewington, and I'm here today to tell you about my road to finding Jesus. And
I've been running through rain that I thought would never end.
Starting off, I grew up in a G-rated family. My parents had me in church every Sunday and Wednesday until I started sports on a serious level. Being one of the more popular students, I was so alone. I was a cutter. I suffered with bulimia from the time I was 12 until I found Jesus a few years ago, and I turned to alcohol at 15 to cover my emotional emptiness, and it led to extremely poor decisions that led to more poor decisions throughout my life. And by the time I was 18, I got a full-ride scholarship to college, but 3 months in, I lost that because of my drinking problem, and I hadn't done drugs up until that point because of drug tests that I would have to take. So when I got kicked out of college, everything fell apart because all I knew was sports. And I got baptized at 15 as a family, but I didn't truly know Jesus. And I started using ecstasy at 18, and that lasted for about a year. I would stay up multiple days at a time, a week here and there, and then when I would stop doing drugs, I'd continue back to alcohol, and I started using meth at 19 when I got a good job at the post office, and I stayed on meth for 9 months at that point, and I got off of meth nine months into it and would turn back to alcohol, but I maintained my job at the post office somehow or another. And when I was 23, I rekindled. I was drinking like 2 cases of beer a day at this point, and liquor, whatever I could do, I was doing it. And I ran into a guy that I had dated on and off for 10 years, and we got engaged, and we got pregnant, and I sobered up through my pregnancy, but I was drinking 2 cases of beer a day at the time of conception, and he passed away when I was 5 months pregnant, and I found out he was cheating on me at his funeral, and I did good with it. I did good, and after my daughter was born, I was excited, I was good, and then his 1 year mark come around, and Satan used that to jump on me, and I started using meth again. I talked to a medium who I thought I was speaking to my daughter's father through, and a dark spirit got attached to my life. And that's when I started using meth again, and lost my job at the post office. I started stripping, and I was dating a truck driver at that time. I wasn't around my kid at all. She wasn't in my life at that point because I was running around with meth cooks and all kinds of stuff. And the guy that I was seeing that drove the truck said that he could feel the presence with me, and I was like, oh, it's just my daughter's father. And I ended up dancing in Nashville, and I had a really bad wreck. It should have been a fatal car accident. Coming home from a club one night, and jumped a 40-foot embankment, got thrown out, got 40 foot from my vehicle. My vehicle was crushed. I only had 3 scratches on me, but internally I broke my back, my collarbone, my shoulder blade, 5 ribs front and back. My lung was collapsed. I had to get a blood transfusion. I didn't get a DUI because the cops thought I was dead. It still took me a year to get sober. I found a guy after that wreck, after my parents doctored me up and took care of me. I found a guy who was using meth as well, and got with him, and he was very, very controlling, and I ended up getting so secluded because I wasn't allowed to talk to anybody without it being a knockdown drag out. And I got so secluded that I found Jesus, and I sobered up in September. I was in school in January, and I stopped smoking cigarettes the first day I went to school, and I mean, since then, Jesus has just sandpapered everything in my life. My daughter's 4.5 years old now, and I've been sober for 2.5 years, so half of my daughter's life, Jesus has just made it wonderful, and I can't explain the joy that I feel now that I've never ever felt before, and it's awesome. Jesus is a miracle worker, and if he can save me, he can save anybody. So that's my story.
When life